I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will administer justice without respect to certain persons, do equal right to the rich and the poor, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge all duties incumbent upon me, agreeably to the best of my abilities and to the Constitution of the United States, so help me God. I am shy. In elementary school, for a play about the safari, everyone else was an animal. I was grass. I'll apologize if you bump into me. I accept every pamphlet handed out on the streets. If there's no more half and half on the counter at the coffee shop, I'll just take my coffee black. I introduced myself here because in the story I'm about to tell, I begin with no name or identity, no character traits or behaviors assigned to me. I was found as a half-naked body, unconscious, no wallet, no ID. No one knew where I came from, who I belonged to, or who I was. Deputy Adams and Deputy Taylor were discharged regarding a report of a female on Stanford campus who was unconscious but still breathing. Taylor reported that he found the girl lying behind a dumpster, completely unresponsive. He said her dress was hiked up to her waist and she was not wearing any underwear when a witness came up to him and said they had him pinned down over there. The witness reported that the suspect was found on top of the girl. In 2018 alone, the National Resource Center for Sexual Violence found that there were over 734,000 reported cases of rape and attempted rape. Yet, the Washington Post observes that only 0.8% of these criminals actually face any jail time. In other words, over 729,000 victims every year see no justice being served to their abusers. So today, through the novels Know My Name by Chanel Miller and Missoula, Rape in the Justice System in a College Town by John Crowker, the poem Paper Dolls by Sierra DeMulder, Chanel Miller's Victim Impact Statement, and articles from the Supreme Court of the United States in the case of the people of California versus Brock Allen Turner. Case dismissed. A program. Because the verdict is in, and our court is guilty. One nurse slid out a blue plastic ruler from her lab coat. The other lifted a heavy black camera to measure the abrasions, they said. I heard every click of the lens, felt it hovering over my every pore, vein, goosebump, and hair. And they told me I had reason to believe I had been sexually assaulted. From the moment that we leave our pink nurseries, we are taught that we are paper dolls, light to hold, easier to crumple. That as women are worthless secretly, wrapped in lace and cotton panties, our fragility armored by pepper spray and mace. They say 1 in 3 women will be sexually assaulted at some point in her lifetime. I am one of 3 daughters. Your Honor, she was found lying half naked on a patch of dirt behind a dumpster. There were pine needles and sticks in her hair. Deputy Taylor reported that he received no response when he asked her if she was okay, even when he was yelling at her. I stayed focused. I typed up all the facts. I ingrained every detail of that night until I could recite it backwards and forwards in 15-minute time intervals from the moment I decided to go to that party until the moment I was released from the hospital. Yet, the Washington Post called him squeaky clean, a baby-faced, rosy-cheeked cherub. The letter writers insisted he was misconstrued as a criminal. Andrew C., his high school friend, reported that the defendant would never sexually assault someone. Gary G., his swim club coach, said that he always knew right from wrong. Jennifer J., his high school French teacher, said she would never associate sexually assaultive behavior with the defendant. We are calling it theft, as if you could pluck open your ribs like cello strings, pocket your breast, steal what makes your heart flutter, and tack its wings to his wall. Some days you will feel dirty. Some weeks you will remember how hard it is to breathe in public, but know this: the person who did this to you is guilty, not you. Her blood alcohol content at 1:05 a.m. was between 0.241 and 0.249, enough to make a person of her size pass out. She was passed out when this crime was committed, Your Honor. Explain to me how she could have consented to what happened to her. In his testimony, Brock said the only reason we ended up on the ground was because I fell. But if a girl falls down, you help her up. If a girl falls down, you don't remove her clothes, mount her, and help her. If a girl falls down, you help her up. Brock, I believe this case is going to be listed as unfounded. I don't think any real crime has been committed here, simply a misunderstanding. When I was told to prepare in case we didn't win, I said that wasn't something I could prepare for. I was weak, was defenseless, I had no voice. I was told my memory loss would be used against me. His attorney constantly reminded the jury that he is the only one we can believe because I don't even remember what happened. He says, well, we don't know exactly when she went unconscious. Fine. Maybe my eyes were still fluttering. Fine. Maybe my body was not completely limp. Yet that was never the point. I was too drunk to speak English long before I ended up on the ground. I should never have been touched in the first place. In the people of the state of California, plaintiff versus Brock Allen Turner, a moderate county jail sentence of 90 days is recommended. We find from the character letters Brock has behaved with good moral conduct up until the point of the incident. The incident, the unfortunate result. 20 minutes of action. You know, in swimming, 1/100th of a second is the difference between victory and loss. Yet they wanted to write off what happened to me as insignificant. But those 20 minutes were only the beginning. Who counts the doctor visits, the hours spent wringing my hands in therapy, the nights spent lying awake wondering why I should wake up again? You know, they talk about how hard this trial has been on him, but who talks about what happened to me? Who counts that? Nothing can be stolen from you. Your body is not a hand-me-down. No locket lies inside of you, waiting to be seen and touched and left on concrete. I know it is hard to feel perfect when you cannot tell the difference between an Adam's apple and a fist. Some ashtray of a man picked you to play his Eden, but I will not watch you collapse. Universities have long been accused of lacking the sophistication and the resources to deal with cases like mine. And I agree, serious crimes need to be handled by serious institutions. But schools have the power to protect their students. If a student can be swiftly expelled for dealing drugs or for plagiarism, why is the same not true when it is clear that they pose a threat to other students? His reputation? My advice is that if he is worried about his reputation, he shouldn't rape anyone.